Attention listeners, before we start today's episode, a quick trigger warning. Today's episode contains Hitler. Hello, and welcome to Mr. Johnson's Time Machine, the podcast that takes you, the listener, back in time. My name is Rory McBain, and I'm joined by the inventor of Mr. Johnson's Time Machine, Mr. J. John Johnson.
Thanks. You just call me John.
All right, Mr. J. John. How about J. John, or John Johnson, or J. Johnson?
I have a dream that someday we'll stop talking about my name so much.
It's just a unique
show.
name. What was your father's name? Are you J. John Johnson Jr.?
No, I told you before. My real last name is
Oh,
Moskowitz.
that's right.
And my father's name was Ronald Moskowitz.
That's right.
Ron Moskowitz.
I apologize. I forgot.
Ron the Don
I didn't
Moskowitz.
remember you're not a doctor. Anyway, thanks for being here once again, as you are obliged to, as you often point out.
Wow.
I appreciate that you came in.
You went to the contract first, not me, so thank you
I
for
just
that.
thought I'd beat you to it.
I appreciate it. It means you understand, even if you're afraid to admit it.
No, there's no fear in admitting what the contract says. I signed the contract as well. Regardless, the American cowboy of the later 19th century is still a relevant symbol of the United States, or at least Texas. Now today, we plan to examine how accurate our vision of these pioneering adventurers is. For example, we already know that the notion of cowboys versus Indians, now Native Americans, is an exaggeration. While there were some skirmishes between cowboys and the natives of the plains, for the most part, these two groups avoided one another. In fact, most of the extinguishing of the native tribes of America was done through settlers spreading disease and the United States cavalry in cooperation with the U.S. government.
Don't forget about buffaloes.
Taking out the buffaloes.
Yeah, taking out the buffalo. It was all part of the plan.
Well, you made it sound like the buffaloes had something to do with it.
No, not at all.
The buffaloes, they had a good relationship with the
Yeah, they had the
Americans.
relationship. That was
Right.
the
That
true,
was a
true
great
nature-human bond.
That was a very, like people and their dogs now.
But then greed and industrialization.
Well,
anyway,
that's what I was getting
I'm
to
going
with
on a
my
different
thing.
tangent.
Yeah. So now, why don't we take a break?
we should go to a commercial, and then we'll
This is
come
a
back
good
and do
time.
the old
And maybe we
West.
can edit that last thing out.
How's your club sandwich, dear?
Oh, it's delicious.
And your club soda?
Tastes like nothing. I want to die. I want to die!
Tired of a club soda that doesn't taste like a club sandwich? Then get Mr. Johnson's Club Soda. Yes, Mr. Johnson's Club Sandwich flavored club soda has the taste of fresh roasted turkey, smoky bacon, and crisp lettuce, which is really more of a textural thing, but we got the flavor in there. Now, Mr. Johnson's Club Sandwich flavored club soda comes in your choice of white or wheat flavor, so grab a soda that tastes like what it says it is. Don't drink a beverage that tastes like bubbles and air. Drink Mr. Johnson's Club Sandwich flavored club soda, and don't skimp on the mayo. Mr. Johnson's Club Sandwich flavored club soda, available in the refrigerated section of your local post office.
Honey, how's your Mr. Johnson's Club Sandwich flavored club soda?
Oh, it's amazing. You can really taste the apple turkey bacon.
Mr. Johnson's family products.
Welcome back. Few characters in the American oeuvre are as iconic as the Old West cowboy. So now, let's take a journey to the Old West and follow one of these legendary cattle drives of the 1870s. These 500-mile-plus journeys involving thousands of livestock were an initial driver to the Western economy as the immigrant population grew in the new United States. These drives from Texas to the railroads in Kansas were led by cowboys. These cowboys would take these many, many cattle, what was known as the Chisholm Trail, and so why
Is that really the Chisholm Trail?
That's what that was one of the main.
That's really what the Chisholm Trail was? I always thought the Chisholm Trail meant that if you had a girlfriend that had a little...
No.
Anyway, that's what we called it.
This is the Chisholm Trail.
Yes.
Chisholm.
Yes.
You're talking about a different thing.
That's exactly
It's
what we
spelled
called
differently.
it.
Well, this is not what this podcast should be about.
My friend Andrew Clark
I don't want to
was
know about your
bragging
friend.
about it.
I don't want to know. We don't
Okay.
need to know about Andrew's
All right.
Chisholm Trail.
I just thought we'd have fun talking about history.
That's not history. Let's go to, if you enter it in, it is a place. It's
Okay.
a registered
All right, I'm
location,
ready.
a locale between Texas and Kansas, 1876. Let's go to the centennial of the United
Oh,
States.
I like that. That's a great idea.
Okay,
We'll
on the
probably talk
Chisholm,
about
Chisholm Trail.
Chisholm Trail, of course.
Spell it right.
That's what we called it.
It's going to be hard to tell all these horses apart. We're going to have to figure out a way to do something. We can't just give them numbers.
Well, I think we ought to name him. Let's call that one Meat Mountain, and he'll be Meat Mountain too.
Well, then you're just back to numbering them. If you give them numbers on the back end, you got to make sure that the names are
Okay.
Well,
What about
distinctive.
Thunderlegs 1 and Thunderlegs 2?
Well, then that's still numbers. That'd be like...
Maybe he's saying maybe we do a third. So you'd be like Thunder Legs 1, Thunder Legs 2, and Thunder Legs 3.
And maybe Thunder Legs 4. What if we call them all Thunder Legs and just put numbers on, like 5, 6?
That's just numbering them. It's like calling them Horse 1,
Thunder Legs
Horse
8.
2, Horse 3.
That's good. Can we use
that's
that?
Because that's still
easy.
numbering.
That's
you need to give them names that are apropos to their inner being.
Well, you're a horse whisperer. You're good with all animals. Why don't you go talk to those cows over there and ask them what they want to be called?
Better than my plan, which was to marry him.
Well, hell, that's not a bad plan either. You know, when I was in Dodge City, I became an ordained minister, so I could marry my sister. Well, hell, I could marry you to that rock or that spittoon full of chewing tobacco or that cow over there.
But that's not just any cow. That Holstein right there is Jennifer Spiritville.
Did you just name that? How do you know?
I named her the minute I saw her. She's got the inner workings of a timepiece that is so intricately put together.
Well, hell, let's get you over there and let's get this done.
All right.
Marry you.
All right. Jennifer, you hear that? It's a-happening. It's a-happening, Jennifer.
All right. Quiet your passion down. Save it for the honeymoon suite.
The enthusiasm of these guys, I imagine they're working all day long and they have this kind of energy.
The enthusiasm is what catches your attention first?
Yes. I think about, have you ever done an honest day's work like these men have been doing all day long?
I don't know what you think an honest day's work is.
Well, where you sweat and you get chaffed hands.
Honestly, I sweat in this situation.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Because of the pressure that's put on me. You do make a point. They've been on the trail for days. Often they would only go 10 or 12 miles a day because they had to keep these cattle
you
fat.
Get all the stragglers.
You could take them up to 15 miles.
You can't
but then
run
they're
them.
losing.
You got to walk them. No running the cows.
I mean, let's just address the elephant in the room. Were they discussing a wedding ceremony?
It seems like they're making a joke. I mean, like they're just having a good time around the campfire.
And very attached to Jennifer Spiritville. It's interesting that they had such a hard time naming the horses, but the cow.
I'm willing to bet if we went back, we would discover the stew is done and they're about to eat, and no one's talking about any of that stuff anymore. They're going to go back
to. You think
to.
that was cowboy
political
humor?
Talk. There's going to be political talk for sure.
1876, maybe.
Yes, 100 years. They're going to be talking about, the country used to be.
Well, I mean,
remember when it used to be you could get a good job.
That's
and
every year, basically, from 1776
Yeah, exactly.
on. Let's see what's going on. You're probably right.
Let's go back in.
Cowboy humor, perhaps that actually.
I mean, you can't
makes sense. They're on the road a long time. You get a little loopy.
Every culture has their own sense of humor and their own what they find appropriate and not. This, of course, also is history, so we can't judge history by today's standards.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here in front of this campfire to marry this man and this cow in holy matrimony.
Hold on. This is really happening. This is...
Look, there's theater in all walks of life. Perhaps this is a play.
I think you're not pulling my leg here, right? This is you're on the Chisholm Trail.
First of all, offensive to even suggest that I've ever created a lie.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, yeah, because I'm sure you've created a lie at some point in your life. No one hasn't. Anyway.
Let he who hasn't told a lie.
Okay, I'm not saying that. This is
punch,
almost incomprehensible. Let's go back into this. This is really not.
What do you want from me?
I don't know. I have not. I've done a lot of research, and this is not.
Well, of course,
this is
not going to put this in the history books.
I guess
people
not.
hide shit like that. J. Edgar Hoover wearing girls' clothes, which obviously today would be fine. Today, people would be like, "So fucking what?
Yes.
What business is it of yours?" I agree with them.
Yeah.
We should have done it back then, but we didn't. So now we're going to look at these guys with those same eyes.
That's
Come on,
fine. You're
take
right.
it easy.
You're right.
Relax. Although if he fucks the cow,
yeah,
I'm done.
Exactly.
I'm done.
Well, that's what I was alluding to.
Yeah. Clem, do you promise to take this cow, Jennifer Spiritville, to have and to hold till death do you part?
You bet I do.
And do you, Jennifer, promise to take this man, Clem, to have and to hold till death do you part? I think that's a yes. I now pronounce you man and cow.
Okay. Let's just abort.
I'm actually shocked that the AI didn't stop that.
Well, to be fair, it sounded like the cow was consenting.
I don't think that was. I think that's just a cow lowing in the field. I don't think that's.
No, I believe that. I think that's probably the cow. That's Jennifer Spearville.
Whatever. I don't think that's a cow responding to a human question.
The timing of it sounded like
timing ain't
cows
truth.
are supposed to be pretty smart, so I wouldn't be surprised if a cow
All right.
understood.
You're
if
the
it's
problem.
Well, no, I'm only saying this is why the alarm didn't go off. Alarms are going off in my head. Why? Let's pivot.
Yes. Can we just switch? Can we go to something else?
Well,
we can go to.
I mean, what are we just going to go to Hitler?
What?
Well, how about
Okay,
this?
fine.
Let's go
Yes,
Hitler.
yes.
Let's do the end of Hitler.
Let's do the end. We know.
It'll be happy
do we have a
maybe
date?
for people?
Do we
Yeah,
have a
April
date?
29,
Oh,
1945.
Okay.
I believe April 30th was his final day.
Okay, so we're going to hear
so
a day
we're gonna-
before.
the day
We can listen to a
before.
little bit of this.
This might be
can't-
happier
There aren't going to
for
be
people.
any cows getting married in this one. I'm
Yes,
sure of that.
for those who are sensitive to Hitler, which really it should be all of us, be aware. Here he comes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just panicked.
That's okay. I mean, it's obviously
We know
a
where to
panic.
just go
it's
there
not
and-
something you want to go to. It's just, it's all right.
He's a history guy.
Can't say I've ever said it out loud in mixed
Never
company.
said the word Hitler out loud?
Not till today.
Saying the word Hitler is not.
Well, you seem to like it a lot. I'm
I
going to
didn't
count
like
up
it.
how
I
many
was
there
just a
are. We'll put
history
it on the end of the
podcast.
episode.
Get to it.
Quiet.
Guten Abend, meneer. Let's see. Where's the vegetarian?
Sorry, it's been incredibly difficult to get any supplies.
Oh, yes, of course, right. Russians are only a kilometer away from the building now, and the supplies are hard to get. Just looking for a little pasta or something with the vegetables, maybe.
Well, we tried to grow our own, but the ground is covered in
Oh, right. The
rubble.
ground has been poisoned with
Yes.
Bombs.
with bombs and shells and
Gas
so
and
forth.
whatnot.
Okay, my next meal. Did you have the tomatoes?
We do not have any more tomatoes.
Out of tomatoes for the viewer.
We tried, Chancellor.
I'm hungry now. I don't want to hear the story. I want the lunch.
We don't have any supplies, Chancellor.
There's
But
nothing back
You
there.
have to make do. The German people are resourceful. What about the gnocchi?
Gnocchi would be fantastic.
Oh,
Chancellor, but
excellent! With a nice white cream sauce.
Well, it would be. It's just that the potatoes won't even grow.
Low on potatoes.
Low on everything.
All right, cut through all that. I'm just going straight for those banana pudding, please.
Oh, bananas! That would be lovely. I remember bananas, but
And,
we have none.
You are missing the point.
Yes or no? Do we have no bananas?
No.
No, we have no bananas.
Nine.
I don't like no.
No,
You tell me. Do we? Yes or no?
We
do
have-
we have no bananas?
we have no. Yes, we have
yes.
9
we have
bananas.
no bananas. I get it.
So they're a little short on supplies. I think that's a pretty important thing we've landed on there. The cafeteria, I guess it sounds like there, and running out the Fuhrer. One of his last meals. Turns out it wasn't a happy one.
No, and it
He
sounds
didn't
like,
get what he
But
wanted.
it sounded to me like he seemed to be like trying to entertain them as they were disappointing him
Well,
at the end of
Right.
the line here.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be maybe a little more panic or anger. He was really pumped up on amphetamines, I believe, at this
It
time.
sounds like it. I mean, his appetite was all over the place,
Oh, yes.
wasn't it?
I'll
I'll have
vegetarian.
gnocchi. I'll have banana pudding.
His expectations, as they often were beyond what he was able to
Right.
achieve.
See, you would know a lot more about the man than I would. I
Well,
didn't know
I'm a
about-
historian, so
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what I
saying
mean.
is he had a great appetite for land, for
Oh.
war, banana pudding. Which how could he expect at this point in the war? How are bananas getting through?
Well, I almost wonder if that was all some sort of part of his plan. Was like, I'll go in there and cheer him up. I'll do the old yes,
The old
we have no bananas.
which is, I believe, a song from like the 20s or something.
and
so
what
it
is
would
that?
Be,
Is it a racist thing? What is
no,
that?
it's like a novelty song. I can look it up.
I guess I just assumed it's Hitler. It must have something to
Well,
do
Benny
with
Goodman recorded a
dominance.
version of it, so it was the age of vaudeville.
Yes.
It was an easier time for
That's true.
comedians. I
Take
would
my
guess.
wife, please.
Exactly. Let's
Well,
move on.
The point is, I guess this guy's funnier than I thought he was.
I do think it's an interesting observation that bombs above. He does seem to be a little detached from what's going on there.
Yeah.
Let's get going on. Maybe we'll find another wedding. I believe he did get married.
They
around
got
this
married
time
in there. Okay,
in the
great. That would be a
bunker,
good thing to
so,
aim for. Then let's try that.
A real wedding.
All right, let's get in there.
Oh, it is so shitty outside. The Red Army is shelling the living shit out of central Berlin.
Herr Chancellor, we can hear Russian language echoing, so it
I
could
was
be approaching.
upstairs. I heard it myself.
It could be approaching.
Not
so
a very musical language.
it's harsh.
Sounds like people coughing.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
disgusting. How have things been here in the Reichskanzlei?
Oh, absolutely fabulous.
Yes, top notch.
Somehow I get the feeling that things aren't as well as you make them sound. I went by the Goebbels quarters and all the kids are dead.
Yes.
Frau Goebbels gave them the poison. She killed her own children.
Impulsive woman.
A sick
Herr Chancellor.
woman. Very sick.
Oh dear. Okay. That was very. Now, we do know, basically, later on, Hitler himself would commit suicide. As
Right,
with
we probably
most
should
of the
have. We probably should have set that up. That whatever happens, don't worry, this guy dies.
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
next
everybody
24
knows
hours.
that.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Oh, for sure. We'll put a. You know what? We'll put a Hitler warning at the beginning of the episode, and so people can pretty
a
much
good
assume
idea.
if there's going to be Hitler, it's going to get dark. They were.
Although I
yes.
guess they were Nazi kids, so fuck them.
Yeah, but they're we get into some difficult conversations.
We sure do.
I don't want to end this way, and I know we have a little more time.
Oh, we can make room, I think, because
I just hate
we've
to
had
go
such a
out
car
on
crash
this.
of an episode.
We don't dare return to the Cowboys.
I was
Perhaps-
hoping you would suggest we go
Really?
back because I was
I
thinking
just don't-
I can't wait to do for you what you want and watch this all go up in flames.
Just to remind from earlier, there seemed to be a marriage ceremony going on.
Yeah, a cow
Let's
man
let's just-
marriage.
wherever you want.
Let's go back to later that night.
Well, this is a sad day after a very happy day. We married a man to his beloved cow, and now he is gone. He's left the earth, and I want to take a moment to remember Clem and everything that we love so much about him.
Clem did his thing. He would eat my mosquitoes if I was having a tough night. He'd tend to the fire. He'd say, you ain't gonna be bit by mosquitoes with Clem around. But he was there when I had sad times. When I had stepped on my first wife, killed her neck, made her die by accident.
I
It was
remember when you
proven.
stepped on your first
Yep,
wife.
Yep. And that was a
That
very
was-
tough time for me.
Well, she was sleeping on the floor.
She was sleeping on the floor, and I said to her, Beatrice, you can't be sleeping on the floor and expect me not to be stepping on your neck.
Her back.
Yep.
She had a bad back.
Her
and they-
back was made of a pencil, they said. And I
Yeah.
ain't talking about made of a pencil. I'm talking about made of a pencil surgery style.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's modern medicine.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I had to go to Wyoming for
Yeah.
some of that.
Clem, one time I had a blister on my knee. He said, just give it to me. I'll put honey on it till it's soothed. And I said, great. Good day for me. Thanks, pal.
Now, but that wasn't recently, was it? Because he just put honey in my tea.
We're going to be lost without him. I'll be honest with you right now. We make it a week, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, well, let's not make it about us. This is about our friend
Clem.
who we lost. And we're going to have to bury him in a moment. Just as soon as that cow gets done fucking him to death.
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
No.
Rory,
No.
you
no.
got what you wanted there, I guess.
No, it is not what I wanted. I wasn't asking for that. This is what we ended up getting, and
I never felt like blaming anybody for anything that this machine has ever wrought before, but you earned that blame.
I absolutely did. I apologize to the listeners. Let's just break down what we heard. But
We heard a man being fucked to death by a cow,
yeah,
which I don't
I
even
have
understand
so many
how that
questions. Why did they not intervene? Was this his wish? To them, it was not unusual.
Yeah,
It's
it
just,
seemed like a Tuesday to them.
yes, this is,
Hey, man, I warned you when we started working with this stuff that you might find out things you don't want to know.
I have to say, I'm not sure which has, dampened my enthusiasm for humanity more, the Hitler portion or the cowboy portion of this.
I would say it's definitely the Cowboys. I mean, we all knew Hitler.
Yeah, I guess you know
Hitler.
what you're getting there, and this is a bit of a surprise.
Biologically, I don't understand how it works.
I also
Sorry.
don't. I don't know the way he was talking about the udders. How he could have been in position for that. Anyway, the cow did not seem to be in distress. So if you're an animal lover or something, I just want you to know.
Oh,
that
rest
part
assured,
seems
no
to be,
cows were harmed.
right,
in the
because I feel like those
recording
are going to
of
be
this
the
show.
people who are going to speak up the most about this, not the
Yeah.
people afraid for the cowboy or even the Hitler part. I fear that the people who are animal lovers will come down on us.
They'll crucify us.
We were
This-
simply bringing you something from the Chisholm Trail.
which apparently is not the name for the little trail that goes
no,
from belly button.
well, maybe I'm rethinking that. Let's just.
I think we are out of time. Rory,
Okay,
so.
thankfully. Well, then, if we're out of time, why don't we thank our sponsor, Mr. Johnson, and the entire family of Mr. Johnson products, including the disco coffin, the ukulele detector, and the club sandwich flavored club soda. Available in the refrigerated section of your local U.S. Post Office.
Thank you, Postmaster DeJoy. Mr. Johnson would like to thank all our participating consultants: Daniel Antonucci, Robert Janis, Matthew Craig, Kevin Dorff, Dwayne Colbert, Megan Grano, and Eddie Furman.
Mr. Johnson's family products.